Hello, you guys. Let's talk about solving multi-step inequalities today. Now remember, this is very, very important, so put it in your note-taking guide. Only multiplying or dividing by a negative will reverse the inequality symbol. Anything else, you just drop the symbol down. Keep it frozen. Okay, take a look at example 2 with me. X over negative 3 minus 9 is less than negative 7. So I wrote it over here in the margin exactly like they gave it to me. With my red, I added a line and changed the sign in front of the 9. And then I circled the variable and I brought my wall down. Now remember, look at what's touching the circle. I see adding negative 9, so I have to add a positive 9 on both sides of the wall first, okay? So I'm going to drop the x over negative 3 down. The negative 9 plus positive 9 destroy each other, so they disappear. They become the 0. I drop my inequality straight down, and then negative 7 plus 9 made positive 2. Now I have x over negative 3 is less than positive 2. So I circle my variable, I bring the wall down. Look at what's touching my circle, dividing by negative 3. So I have to multiply both sides of the wall by negative 3. Remember, when we multiply or divide by a negative, the inequality is going to reverse itself. So circle it so you remember. Now, negative 3 divided by negative 3 creates that giant invisible 1. I let the x come down. The inequality symbol turns around, so it's the opposite. It's is greater than. And then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So to graph it, remember, I draw my number line. I put 5 tick marks. I put 0 in the middle. I'm going to count by 6, so positive 6, positive 12 on the right, negative 6, negative 12 on the left. Since it is greater than, I'm going to put an open dot at negative 6, and I'm going to shade everything to the right, everything larger. Okay, so take a look at the checkpoint. Look at number 2. 2x plus 9 is less than 25. So I wrote the inequality exactly like they gave it to me. I grabbed my red, I circled the variable, I brought my wall down. Look at what's touching the circle, adding 9. That's what I have to destroy. So I'm going to subtract 9 on both sides of the wall. So I'm going to bring the 2x down. Positive 9 plus negative 9 destroy each other. They make a 0 and disappear. I drop the inequality symbol straight down, and then 25 plus negative 9 made 16. Okay, now I have 2x is less than 16. So I circle my variable, I bring down the wall. Look at what's touching the circle. I see multiplying by 2, touching the circle, so I have to divide both sides by 2. And since I'm dividing by a positive, nothing changes. So 2 divided by 2 gives me that giant invisible 1. I let the x come down, I drop my symbol straight down, and 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. So I have x is less than 8. So I put an open dot at 8, and I shade everything smaller, everything to the left. Take a look at number 3. I have negative 3 is greater than or equal to x over negative 4 minus 2. So I wrote the inequality exactly like they gave it to me. I grabbed my red, and I see subtracting 2, so I'm going to add a line and change the sign in front of the 2. I'm going to circle my variable and bring the wall down. Look at what's touching the circle, the adding negative 2. So I have to add a positive 2 on both sides of the wall. So negative 3 plus 2 gives me negative 1. I drop my symbol straight down. I drop the x over negative 4 straight down. And of course, negative 2 plus positive 2 destroy each other. They become 0 and disappear. Now, I have negative 1 is greater than or equal to x over negative 4. So I use my red, I circle the variable, I bring my wall down. Look at what's touching the circle, dividing by negative 4. So to destroy it, I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 4. Now remember, when I multiply by a negative, I've got to circle my inequality symbol because it's going to turn around. So negative 4 times negative 1 gives me positive 4. The symbol flips around and becomes is less than or equal to. And then, of course, negative 4 divided by negative 4 creates that giant invisible 1 in front of the x. Now, we don't want to graph it like this because the first thing I see is a number, not the variable. So now practice reading it starting at the x. This means x is greater than or equal to 4. So that's how I wrote it over here. X is greater than or equal to 4. And now I'm going to graph it. So it could be equal to 4, so I put a closed dot on 4, and then I shade everything larger, everything to the right. Okay, take a look at number 4 with me. 2 is greater than or equal to negative 4 minus x. So I wrote it exactly like they gave it to me, and then grab your red. And remember our trick, we talked about this in class. Put that giant 1 in front of the x, and see that subtraction sign? Add a line and change the sign. And so now I have 2 is greater than or equal to negative 4 plus negative 1x. And now I'm ready to start solving it. So circle the variable, bring down your wall. Notice that they have adding negative 4. And so the way to destroy it is to add a positive 4 on both sides of the wall. So 2 plus 4 gives me 6. I drop the symbol straight down. I don't change anything. And then negative 4 plus positive 4 destroy each other. That's 0. And I bring the negative 1x down. And now I circle my variable. I bring down the wall. And take a look at what's touching the circle, multiplying by negative 1. So the only way to destroy that is to divide both sides by a negative 1. When I multiply or divide by a negative, I circle the inequality because it's going to flip around. And so 6 divided by negative 1 gives me negative 6. The inequality turns around, and it's is less than or equal to. And of course, negative 1 divided by negative 1 creates that giant positive 1 in front of the x. Now don't graph that. Practice reading it starting at the x. So this is x is greater than or equal to negative 6. So that's what I wrote right here. X is greater than or equal to negative 6. So I put a solid closed dot on negative 6 because it could be equal to it, and I shade everything larger, everything to the right. Take a look at number 5. X over 2 plus 4 is less than or equal to 9. So I copied the inequality. I grab my red, circle the variable, bring down the wall. I see adding 4, so I subtract 4 on both sides of the wall. I brought down the x over 2. Positive 4 plus negative 4 destroy each other. They become a 0. Bring the symbol straight down, and then 9 minus 4 gave me 5. Now I have x over 2 is less than or equal to 5. So I use my red, I circle the variable, I bring down the wall, I see what's touching the circle, dividing by 2. So I have to multiply both sides by 2. Well, since I'm multiplying by a positive this time, I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to drop the symbol straight down. And then 2 divided by 2 creates that giant invisible 1 in front of my x. I dropped that symbol down, and 5 times 2 gave me 10. So I have to graph x is less than or equal to 10. So I put a solid closed dot on 10, and then I shade everything smaller, everything to the left.